So most people think if you keep a credit card utilization 30% or lower, that you are doing good. But I did a poll on my community tab asking how many points were you wanting to increase your credit score by? And really, over 50% of people said that they wanted to increase their credit score 51 to 100 points. Now, let me know in the comments, do you really believe that you can increase your credit score in 30 days? Well, in this video, I wanted to talk about if you really want to increase your credit score, especially if you want to increase your credit score in 30 days, this is how you should tackle your credit card utilization. Let's get into it. So if we're trying to increase our credit score fast, the quickest way for us to be able to do that is by tackling our credit card utilization. And in my last video, I was stating you can increase your credit score up to 100 points within 30 days. Now, the thing is, our credit is reported to the credit bureau every 30 days. So that's why I was saying you can increase your credit score month over month and be able to see an increase or a decrease within those 30 days. It's all going to depend on what is your credit profile looking like. And so that's why we'll have to take a look at our payment history, our credit card utilization, our length of credit, our new credit, and our credit mix. Because once we take a look at that, it's going to let us know, can we really have that high increase of our credit score? Now, in my mind, especially with us having $1.1 trillion in credit card debt, then that lets me know that there is a high probability that most people, give or take, might have high credit card utilization. Now, on the one hand, it can be from different things because it really can be how we're paying our credit card. I want to talk about two ways that we can tackle our credit card utilization to make sure that we can get a high increase month over month. Our credit card utilization is very important. And what is credit card utilization? So let's say you have a credit card that has a $10,000 credit limit, but then you owe $5,000. So that's going to be a 50% credit card utilization. And they state if we can keep our credit card utilization less than 30%, that's good. But the thing is, 30% is going to be at the high. And it really depends, because if you have 50% credit card utilization or even a higher credit card utilization, if you can get it to 30%, then that's going to be good. So if we can tackle our credit card utilization to 7% or lower, especially if it's been high, then that's how we will be able to get a high increase on our credit score. So the second way for us to take a look at our credit card utilization is to take a look at our credit card statement and see what is our due date and our statement date or our closing date. Because what we want to do is we want to see when is our creditor going to be reporting to the credit bureau. And that's going to be a very, very important date, because even if we make our minimum payment, let's say $41, and then we start using the credit card again, and then once it's going to report to the credit bureau, we have 30% or 50% or more, then that's how we can see a decrease in our credit score. But if we take a look at that statement date or the closing date, and we can, I would say probably 3 days before that date, if we can get that to under 7%, that's when we can see a big increase in our credit score. So let's take a look at my Citi Platinum American Airlines credit card, and my credit limit is $7,100. I see my due date is on 11/27, and I have a minimum payment of $41. And so I want to go ahead and make that payment, but all that's going to do is satisfy the minimum payment for that account. Then what I want to do is I want to take a look at my statement date or my closing date. So on my statement date or / closing date, and that's going to be when it reports to the credit bureau, my statement date was 11/3. So really at that statement date, I really want to make sure, am I reporting 30% or under, 7% or under, or even 0%, however, what percentage you want. but I think the sweet spot is going to be 7% or less. And so that's where we would want to make sure, what are we reporting? But what I can do is at 1127, I can go ahead and pay it down to 7% so that I can make sure once my statement date comes up later this month or really in December, I can make sure that my utilization is only reporting a lower utilization. And so that's how we want to take a look at it. So it might not necessarily be that, okay, we're paying the credit card at the due date, but then if I start spending on the credit card, especially since this year around the 27th, that's going to be Black Friday. So am I going to be using this credit card when I know around, that time my statement date is going to be coming, close to around that time. So that's where we would want to make sure, how can I make sure that I'm not reporting a high credit card utilization? And so that's how we really tackle our credit card utilization. So you have to let me know in the comments, what are you thinking about this? And especially with the holidays coming up, how are you going to be reporting to the credit bureau? Do you have one or two credit cards that you're going to be using for the holidays? Have you gotten started with your holiday shopping? Or are you going to be waiting to Black Friday to do your shopping? So let me know in the comments, what are you thinking about this? But I hope that this has been helpful. Please like, subscribe, share with a friend, and turn your notification bell on so you be notified when new content drops. I thank you so much for watching. Until next time, we want to make sure that we got our finances in order for 2026. And so you'll have to go and check out my digital budget planner on my Etsy shop. Y'all, I'm very excited about it. You have your monthly budget, you have your debt repayment and your debt tracker. I'm very excited. I added a bingo savings planner to where you can put a few other things that you're trying to do. Possibly you're trying to save 1,000 or 5 or 10,000. So you can put that in there. Maybe you want to get you a high yield savings, possibly open up a Roth IRA. So you can put your savings goal in the boxes and just mark them off as you complete it. But then also you can always go over to my website and get my free budget and debt repayment template. And I even added the bingo savings for that as well. So you can drop down in the description and go over to my website or my Etsy shop.